What's up guys, it's ASBYT and welcome back to a brand new video. Now today we're talking about a possible Apple AirPod alternative, but for a much cheaper price. Quite possibly these Xiaomi Airdots might just be the best budget wireless Bluetooth earbuds on the market right now for you to potentially use in 2019. So without further ado, let's get straight to it. Right, so like I said, welcome back to a brand new video. So we have here the Xiaomi Airdots. Now, if you don't know who Xiaomi are, they are one of the fastest growing tech companies on the planet. They do smartphones, they do luxury watches, smartwatches, they do tablets, TVs, the lot. Lit scooters, bins. I'm not suggesting buy a bin, but you get the idea. But they also do music devices, and by music devices, we're of course today talking about wireless earbuds. Now these are the Xiaomi Airdots. They take no shame in taking ideas from Apple and doing them very well, but doing them on a budget. Now, the whole naming process of Airdots, I think they don't need to do that anymore. They're a big enough company. They don't need to be naming products to sound kind of like Apple products, but nevertheless, if the product's great and the price is good, I'm all for that. Now, I will actually leave the link in the video description below for these if you are interested in finding more information, full spec list, etc., where you can also purchase them as well if you so wish. So, these are wireless, these are Bluetooth 5.0 as well. They come in a box like this, as you can see. Nothing too groundbreaking, just a white box. And inside you have the case, which it opens, and there they are right there. And we also have, I always drop things. We have our manual, which is in Chinese, unfortunately, but we'll get to exactly how they work, so you won't have to worry about that. Alternative earbuds, in case the ones that come with it don't actually fit your ears. These ones actually do fit mine absolutely beautifully, but people have different sized ears. As if you didn't know that already. And we have our charging cable here as well, which is micro USB. I would prefer Type-C. I prefer Type-C with everything because then you can just take one cable and it works for everything. Not the end of the world, but I think going forwards, like I said, everything should be Type-C. But what's important is, of course, what is in these and how they work. So, like I said, they are inside here. And my one first criticism or negativity, good start. One negative you could see about these is the fact that I personally prefer them to look more like an earphone, a wired earphone, similar to how the Apple AirPods look, just a bit shorter because I think the AirPods are a bit long. So in terms of design, yes, they fit great in the ear. Yes, they're very small, they're very portable, but I think they could be better. Now, in terms of functionality, we'll start with the case, and it's not the most premium, but certainly it doesn't feel flimsy. It's got a nice snap to it. But again, comparing it to something like the Apple AirPods, it doesn't feel quite as sturdy. But very portable, you can throw them in your bag, nice and easy, and they will take up absolutely no room, so I can't fault them with portability. Now, in terms of pairing, all you'd have to do is simply open the box and take one of them out, and they instantly go into pairing mode, and that's a very, very useful thing. There's a little LED which starts to flash, and then you know it's in pairing mode, and then simply, like with everything, you'd go onto your smartphone or another device, you'd go into your Bluetooth, and you go to pair new device, and it would simply come up straight away as Airdots. Now, you can actually pair these individually as well, so you don't have to use them both at the same time. At the start, when you're first pairing, the sound will come into both, even though you've only paired with one. Now, if you wanted to pair the other one as well, it would say Airdots L and Airdots R for the left and right ones. Now, one thing with these that a few people have been struggling with is the syncing of the two together once you go out of sync. So once you only select one to use, some people have been having problems where it doesn't then sync up the alternative one and you're left with either one or the other. Now, this has happened to me once, and while I don't think this is a great thing at all, I do think it is a flaw with the makeup of these earbuds. But the way round it that I found does work for me is to hard reset them, where you press your finger on the sensor, hold it for roughly around 20 seconds until you see the LED flashing white and red very briefly once, keep holding it, and then after about 5 seconds it'll flash red and white again, and that will then reset, and then you take your finger off as soon as you see that second red and white flash LED. Then put both earbuds back into the case and then select just the right one to then go and pair that. Once that is then paired, then take the left one out and it should really sync up both. And of course, I can't comment for everyone, but it has worked for me. When you place the earbuds back into the case, it actually snaps in. There is a magnet there, so that again makes it quite easy to use. When you run out of charge, you simply put them back in the case. The LED will turn to red, and you know then that means it's charging. Now, in the short time I've been using them, I have had pretty decent battery, but I need to test that in more detail. I will be using them quite a lot over the next couple of days, and I will be updating the situation on my Twitter and Instagram, so make sure you go and check them out if you are interested in that specific play-by-play. That's not the term I'm looking for. Use by use. Real world use. We got there in the end. Now, importantly, we have to talk about sound. So the first question you might be asking is, for $60 or £60, do these sound as good as the top high-end headphones and earphones out on the market that you'd spend £200, £250 on? The straight answer is no, they don't. There are certain things they can improve on. The more descriptive answer is they are very, very impressive for that price point. Now, the actual product description on the website says it's got super bass. I don't really necessarily quite agree with that. If you're a bass lover, I don't feel the bass is necessarily as good as I would like, but they're a very balanced sound. So the mids and highs are pretty good. The sound is crisp and clear. I would just like to see the bass be a little bit more punchy, but outside of that, I can't really fault them too much in terms of sound quality, especially again when I consider that price point. Would I use these happily going into 2019, especially in the early, January, February time? Absolutely, I will be using these, I can assure you, in that time. Unless something comes out after these that I necessarily feel are better, and of course I will let you know on that. But right now, currently, I think for the price, these are absolutely brilliant. So now I'm going to hold one of the earbuds up to the microphone so you can kind of get a rough idea of how it's going to sound. Obviously, this isn't at all a fair representation through a microphone, but nevertheless, it might be useful for you. Hello? Hello? Nice spam call. One other flaw of these is the fact that they are in Chinese language. So while they're very easy to pair and use, the actual voice that comes out of it, for me, unfortunately I don't speak Chinese, so I can't really get anything from that. But on the flip side, I don't feel once I've paired them, which is quite easy to do, like I've said, I don't feel that's necessarily a problem. Also on these parts of the buds here, that is a touchpad. So it registers a tap, so you can start and end calls, you can skip track, you can play pause, all just by either tapping or pressing and holding, and that's the way to control all of that. Very, very easy. One downside is, of course, you can accidentally press that touch sensor, and I personally think that's not necessarily a flaw with these, because a lot of earbuds do that. It's a flaw with that idea in general. Now with these, you get about 4 hours of music time. So while that's not amazingly groundbreaking, you'll still get a decent session of music whilst traveling, for example, and you have that added charge in the case as well. And using one and not two, you're meant to get about an extra hour's worth of music time, and they take about 1.5 hours to fully charge. There's also a tiny microphone on here. Now, I've only used them about once to actually make a call on, and from all accounts, what I was hearing from the other end is it wasn't amazing. It's not quite as good as using the microphones you get in your phone, but it does a job. So if you're desperate for it, then it'll work fine. It just won't be the best quality. And I think, especially considering we've got the holiday season just around the corner, if you're looking to spend that sort of money on yourself or a friend or a family member, and they're looking for a product like this, I think these are a great option. Like I said at the start, I will be leaving the link for these in the video description below. So this is where I want to hear from you guys. What do you think of these in the comment section below? Are they something that you're interested in? Are you looking for a pair of wireless or Bluetooth headphones? What do you think about what you've heard for the price? Let me know below. I will be sifting through and trying to answer as many questions and comments as I can, and as always, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Like and share if you did enjoy this video and found it helpful. Subscribe and hit that notification bell if you're new to the channel and want to be notified every time I post a video on anything tech, pretty much daily content here on YouTube. I love you and leave you. I'll see you in the next one. It's ASBYT. Peace out.